Don't follow what I'm doing as directions, guys. I'm not responsible for your breaking your stuff. Welcome to another 6th Gen Farmer. Today I want to get this planter done. We're getting close. I just got to put a few new discs on, put on all the gauge wheels again, tighten up these brackets because they're all loose, put these row closing wheels on, get the planter hooked up hydraulically and electrically, get the whatever you call that thing, the generator on the tractor. Now I'm starting to talk about this, it sounds like a lot. I want to get it done so that way I can get the planter out of here, take it to Deere. They're going to do some tests with it, just make sure everything looks good in the meters, and they got a couple other small projects they're going to do to it. But I just want to get this thing connected. I want to get out in the yard. I want to get unfolded. I want to make sure all the air stuff works and just make sure it's ready to go to the dealership so they can do their checks. And I want to get my high boy in here, I want to start working on that. And now one thing I don't know if I have mentioned yet or not, but we're going to be doing here before spring hopefully, is we actually got some new tracks for the 8345 as well. These tracks, I mean, we've had these tractors since we got the tractor. They weren't very good when we bought the tractor, and they are basically a goner. Not much left there. And it makes the tractor ride rough. The thing with tracks is that once these tracks start to get misshaped and deformed a little bit, the lugs on it, the ride quality goes down significantly. And in the past, it really hasn't been that big of an issue. I mean, like, the ride quality is what it is. You know, it's a 2-track. But, like, even in the fields, we haven't really had that much issue with this because we've been dry. And we are very dry right now. But I know what's going to happen. Sooner or later, we're not going to be dry. And these are just going to be spinning out there and not doing very good, getting stuck. So it's time for new tracks. We'll probably keep these ones as spares for our sprayer tractor because the tracks in the sprayer tractor, the lugs are a lot better, but it has a few chunks taken out the side, and we got them really cheap and they've been working so far. But if they were to fail, we would need something just to pull the sprayer around. So we're probably going to keep those tracks as spares would be my guess. Okay, well, I got a lot of stuff I want to do to this planter. I want to get this thing done. So I am planning on doing a time lapse with maybe some interjected commentary. So let's get started.
This big black cloud is coming down. Falling angels all around. A warm breeze from the subway underground. The snow is falling heavily over town. Walking backwards in the snow.
So in the last video, I started putting on these wear part discs here. There's a number on them, and they weren't all up to my standards, and they shipped us a bunch of new ones. And at the end of the last video, I said I started putting the new ones on and they started getting better. Well, I'm not impressed with these discs. The problem is, that I kind of figured out, is the roundness is pretty good. They did a feeler gauge in all these and they measured it. The problem is, I don't know how well I can show it, they're not round. I don't know if you can see the top of that blade moving up and down up there. I think they're perfectly round, but the bearing's not centered, and it's causing this thing to go up and down and in and out, and it's causing issues where these two blades touch. And I'm just, I mean, these cost more than Deere blades, and I have just not been impressed with putting these things on. I don't know. I kind of regret not going for Deere ones on these. I mean, I basically got the planter done. We're gonna run them this year, but not happy with them. Let me show you what I mean. This is a very good measuring, very good tolerance blade. Right now, these two business cards have an inch gap. Flip them around. Put this business card in there. This business card in there. We went from 1 inch to 1.5. Go a little further. Do it again. Now we are at 2.
My tracks as I go. The main park birds are singing nice and low, but I ain't got a clue which way to go. There's a winding road ahead of me. I can't figure out where it goes, but if I try, I can make it home. And if I stand by what I know is real, not wander off on some byway, I should be fine. I'll be home to stay. Reaching out to find a place where I can feel a little space. Memories of tomorrow are getting old. There's no way to retrieve what I've sold. There's a winding road ahead of me. I can't figure out where it goes, but if I try, I can make it home. And if I stand by what I know is real and not wander off on some byway, I should be fine. I'll be home to stay. There's a winding road ahead of me. I can't figure out where it goes, but if I try, I can make it home. And if I stand by what I know is real, not wander off on some byway, I should be fine. I'll be home to stay.
So it's actually starting to look like a planter a little bit now. Got everything put back on. I have not done the spacing on the gauge wheels or anything yet, but I'm just trying to get this thing together. So we're getting the hydraulics hooked up, and thank goodness last year I labeled where everything went with these little cattle tags. There's only 2 I didn't label, but there's only 2 spots left on the hydraulics, which I don't know why I didn't label them, but I think I got this all correct. Now I just gotta get the electronics hooked up and get the PTO generator on. And now I actually did learn some stuff about the PTO generator. I went to a planting clinic yesterday. I should take it apart. There's a little bushing on the inside that you need to replace. I should take it apart, replace that bushing, and then also change the oil on it. But I want to try and get all these cables up to the cab first, so that way it's just done. So it is the next day, and a little bit of progress has been made off camera. My brother and I were out moving grain, but my sister-in-law was here, so she took all the units apart and just put them on the ground. And then she also took, there's these little rumble strips in the Exact-Emerge planters. There's a yellow smooth one that looks like this. That is put in for soybeans, and she took all the soybean ones out, put in the bumpy corn ones, little agitator strips I think they call them, and took all the units out. I took the PTO generator and split it apart. The other half of it's in my dad's car yet, and he's currently gone. But this part, I gotta drain the oil on. I believe I just pulled this plug out, I can drain the oil, and then I just gotta fill new oil or put new oil in there until it starts coming out the plug. Put that back in, just use this hydraulic oil. But I am going to be going through these belt systems because last year I had a lot of these bottom pulleys that were worn out, and I just want to take them all apart, check them over, and to see if there's anything wrong with these belts and all these wear strips along this backside. So now I got this belt taken apart. So how this works is the seed comes in here. There's usually a bowl in here. The vacuum sucks it to the bowl. It goes around this little knockout wheel right here, pokes it through. It lands in the belt, and then travels down the belt, and then gets spit out on the bottom side into the seed trench. So, but there's a lot of moving parts. You know, obviously this belt's moving constantly, and there's just some stuff that can go wrong in these. One thing is these bottom pulleys can easily wear out on the top side. So it's a pretty good thing to just check the thickness of your pulley, see if this top's wearing up. And then this strip right here, and then there's this metal strip right here that can both get a groove in them and cause some issues, along with this little thing on the bottom here. I don't know even what you call that, but I replaced this last year. I replaced most of these last year. These I have not replaced. I'm gonna take this belt off, probably a couple of these belts off, and just see what that strip looks like. Typically, if one or, you know, they should all be consistent because these have all been in here since we bought the planter. So I'm gonna take a few apart, see how they look, and then the rest of them I'm just gonna check this bottom pulley because I think I replaced about 18 of them last year, but I did not replace all of them. So I'm taking a look at it here. I do not see any grooves along that back side. It looks nice and smooth, nice and shiny. Also, it is very important not to damage these seed sensors because I think they're 800 bucks a pop, and there's 24 of them. So yeah, don't be dropping it on that seed sensor because that'd be a bad day. But my pulleys look good. That pulley's not worn out on the top at all. That bottom strip looks really good. The back strip looks really good. So, and then the belts are all new last year, so they should be good. So hopefully this will be a pretty easy year of just kind of checking these over, putting them back together, and putting them in the planter, because last year I spent a lot of time doing quite a bit of work to these belt drives. So now I'm going to take this bushing off of this power generator here. So right in here, you're supposed to grease these every year and then replace every couple of years. I never greased this, didn't know I was supposed to, and the new one was like 50 bucks, and I figured rather than having to tear this apart in the middle of the year, just replace it now. So the problem is I gotta take this nut off and it spins. So I think I'm just gonna take the impact to it and hope that it goes off. Easy does it, easy does it. Aha! Supposedly this is a new one. Here we go. Is there a top or a bottom of this thing? No. Okay, that slips right on. There's a little O-ring that goes in there. Right over the top of that. There we go. Now I just gotta grease her up. There we go. Now you're supposed to use the Molly like excavator pin grease for this. Just supposed to put some on your finger and spread it around this gear here. And didn't get quite enough. There we go. Luckily we have a excavator and a backhoe, so we got plenty of this grease on hand. Okay, so now on the gear part of it, the part that actually connects to the PTO shaft, and I don't know if there's a gear reduction here or what, but I believe this plug right here removes the oil out of it. We did it last year. I think it's kind of best if you replace oil on it every year. It's just standard 15W40 hydraulic oil. So hopefully with my little stand I built here, I can drain the oil direct into an oil pan. Which, well, I was told not to drop these because they're like 3 grand. Aha! Actually, that'll work pretty good. Just drain directly into the... I think I said 15W40 oil here not too long ago. I meant like hydraulic, not engine oil, the same hydraulic oil you'd like put in the tractors. What in the heck? Oh. Okay. This is pretty sketchy. Yep, I'm gonna hurt myself. Okay, it's the next day because I didn't really have that many good tools to get that plug off. So I went home and I grabbed this sweet Craftsman socket set, which has Allen heads with socket ends on it, like a 3/8 inch on it. And then I went and grabbed my electric ratchet. I think that's what they call these things. Technically, this is actually, the socket set's my dad's. I stole it from him like a year ago. I don't think he's realized it yet. But this is mine. Okay. This should break this loose. Ooh. I feel like that's a lot of pressure I'm putting on it. It's still not going. Ah! I just smashed my finger. Oh! Ouch, that hurt really, really bad. Ah. That was stupid. I got it though. Aha. Now. No. Okay. My goal here is to not make a mess. There we go. That oil actually looks really clean. I probably did not need to do this, but you don't know until you do it.
I don't know about this. We will see. Okay, that doesn't look like hydraulic oil. I would love to use up whatever in the heck was in that jug, but I also don't want to have to buy a new generator. So, this is also a bad idea. I also don't like this. But I don't really see what choice I got. This is gonna be bad. It comes out so fast. Wait, is that already too much?
Don't follow what I'm doing as directions, guys. I'm not responsible for you breaking your stuff. I've had this thing for like 2 weeks. I'll already love it. There we go. And now I'm wondering if I can put this thing on the tractor PTO and then install that, because if I'm both together, it's kind of a two-man job because this thing's so heavy. But if I can do it separately, that might make it pretty easy for me to do by myself. I just gotta clean and grease up that PTO shaft. Okay, ouch. Hurt my foot. I'm gonna go home an injured man tonight. Today. Man, this PTO shaft is dirty. They recommend greasing these PTO shafts before you put this PTO generator on. And I understand, you know, if things on there running constantly, probably a good idea to have some sort of lubrication between the two. But the problem is you take the power generator off and then you put this on a piece of tillage equipment and all the grease is left on there and then all the dirt sticks to it. So I don't see any like top or bottom markings on it. That's definitely the bottom. Okay. Okay. Does this thing not click on? I don't remember. Let's not. Let's just slide there freely. Because theoretically now, I put, yeah, now that line's right up. Okay, I'm gonna put some upward force on this. I have no idea how tight this is supposed to be. That should be good. Now, let's get the actual generator on there. Well, I don't think this is gonna exactly be the easiest thing I've ever done either, now that I kind of look at it. Okay. I think the generator part's actually heavier than the gears. Okay. Let's get that out of the way. I gotta get that little gear in the middle line up too. Here, let's do this. Let's put the bolt in the top. Oh, got it. Are you threading? You are threading, look at that. I think it's crazy that these planters take so much power. You either have to have a hydraulically driven power generator or a PTO driven power generator. This thing pumps out 56 volts. I don't know how many amps, so I don't know how many total watts or whatever, but 56 volts. That's a lot of volts. I do actually kind of like this PTO generator because you just flip the PTO on when you get to the field and you forget about it. They're basically trouble-free. The hardest part is just putting them on and off, and taking them on and off. But do it once a year, I guess. And now that I know you can split it, I can do it by myself pretty easily. Golden. So this plugs into that. Come on, Betsy. There we go. And then this plugs in like that. And now my monitor should stop beeping at me. For anybody that's ever hooked up their planter and plugged into the monitor without hooking up their EPG or their power generator, you know all about the beeping, because until that planter gets plugged into a power generator, it doesn't even need to be on. Until it's plugged in, this monitor will beep at you about every 10 seconds, and it is extremely annoying. But theoretically now, we should be good. The cab setup's gonna be the exact same as last year. Got my full box, got my road cleaners, clean sweep air box right here, got my inverter back here to charge my iPad, my camera, and I'll probably put a battery charger for my DeWalt grease gun on that. Got the dual 4640 monitors and the iPad that'll be running Connect Mobile. Yep. Seat sensor supply below normal. Yeah, that's fine. Well, good. Not beeping at me. And then I got the CRGs. Got one on the back of the planter and one on the cab of the tractor right there. They just came out with a new update that is supposed to greatly enhance AutoPath and implement guidance. So if I go into my ISO bus, I have 2 Agri GPSs, and the one in the planter is in implement mode. So that's good to go. So theoretically, now I just gotta put the units back on and take it to Deere and have them do their inspection on it. This feels good. This feels really good having this done. And so I went through all these units here yesterday. All the belts and pulleys and everything that I went through last year look really good, except for 2 rows. There's 1 row over here. This one, this bottom plate right here that guides that seed down into the trench is pretty rusted. The face of it looks pretty good, but I don't want to mess with it. I'm just going to replace that one right there. And then I thought that this bottom pulley can maybe be replaced. Other than that, the only issues that we found with the planter is that row 22, this motor turns significantly harder, and I don't know if you can hear it. Compared to this one. Actually, that one doesn't sound that great either. I don't know, but this one turns significantly harder. So I'm gonna have Deere look at that motor. And then also, and this is something that we could probably replace here, I think this wheel bearing is going out. Because if I come over here and I spin it, I don't know if the camera's picking that up or not, but it sounds a little crunchy. And one more thing that I need to do is, I don't know if you guys remember last year I had that Whiffles flag, which looked freaking sweet when we were planting. Problem is that I bought a flag holder off Amazon, and then I went and planted on like a 50-mile-per-hour wind day, and I absolutely snapped that flag holder right off. So I gotta figure out a new solution for putting my flag on this planter, because I want to do it again, because it was awesome. But yeah, that'll be in the works as well. So I think that's where I'm going to leave this video off at. So thank you guys for watching, and of course, I'll see you in the next one.